Hello, this is Allan Arkush with another trailer from hell. Well, back when I was much younger, I actually used to love to race high-speed cars. A Ferrari 275P, a Ford GT40. I was obsessed with them. They weren't real cars. They were 1/32 scale slot races.
From Gilbert Autorama comes the excitement and competition of the famous Indianapolis Speedway. Gilbert makes cars rugged enough to take this kind of punishment. And look at the great assortment of Gilbert cars to choose from. The roughest, toughest, most realistic cars on the road.
And this is pretty much all I did from 7th grade, well, until I discovered Bob Dylan for myself. I was under the surface. I used to build the frames. I used to rewire the motors. Whereas my friends would follow the Yankees and the Giants and the Knicks, I was more interested in whether the Cobras could catch up with the Ferraris and how Team Lotus was doing. Now, this was the guy I used to idolize, Jim Clark. That's Jim Clark right over there. So naturally, I went to a lot of race car movies, and I've gotten together a list of the ones that I think are the very best. From 1965, there's Grand Prix, and it's a quantum leap forward due to the vision of director John Frankenheimer. He was the first person to mount cameras on the race cars. He also had a special camera car made that would travel at 200 miles an hour, and he had it driven by world champion Phil Hill. Everyone surrounding the cars is a real driver, and they have cameos in the movie. It's got really excellent editing montages by Saul Bass. It won 2 Academy Awards for sound and for editing, and beautiful locations, an international cast. There's a but. It's a soap opera, and it's kind of like Grand Hotel at a racetrack. Can't have everything. Steve McQueen loved fast cars. He collected them. He drove a Porsche to a 2nd place finish in the 12 Hours of Sebring. Now, being an actor with so much clout, he got to make his dream project, LeMans. They worked on this script for 7 years and never made anything shootable.
Welcome to the most famous motor car race in the world.
Well, ego and overages almost got Steve McQueen fired from his own picture. It's got terrific documentary-style race car footage, but there's no story. So great footage, no story. Now, who are race car drivers? They're men in a dangerous profession. There's a lot of camaraderie. They're kind of cavalier in the face of a fiery death. So film buffs, what does that sound like to you? A Howard Hawks movie. From 1932, the crowd roars with Jimmy Cagney and Joan Blondell. It's about open wheel racing, and it's pretty darn good. Which brings us to the penultimate car racing movie from that Grand Theft Auto auteur, Ron Howard.
I'm Ron Howard.
They're gonna crash!
Well, Ron didn't really drive in the movie, but he directed it really well. It's called Rush, and it's got everything. The acting is terrific and has something that no other car racing movie had up to that point, and that was a psychologically motivated, complex storyline. It's a really good script. I've seen this movie several times, but what's the ultimate car racing movie? The very best one. Our trailer from hell, Ford versus Ferrari.
Watch the stock cars in slow motion. Up and go.
What makes this movie so special is the vision of director James Mangold.
Look out there. Out there is the perfect lap. You see it?
I think so.
Once he joined the project, which had been in development for a decade, he insisted on verisimilitude and a real script. He crafted the story to feature 4 complex characters. Carroll Shelby, who reinvented American race cars, his driver Ken Miles, an imperious Henry Ford, and the man in the middle, Lee Iacocca.
What's it take?
Well, it takes something money can't buy.
Money can buy speed.
What in about speed? You need a pure racer behind the wheel of your car. That's Ken Miles.
I don't trust him an inch.
We heard he's difficult.
No, Ken's a puppy dog.
There you have it. The relationship at the heart of the picture.
No. Whatever it is, Shell, no.
Trust me.
The director's quest for reality extends to the best racing footage ever, featuring $200 million worth of vintage Ferraris and Fords.
And how long did you tell them that you needed? 200-300 years?
90 days.
Fed and Papa Michael's lensing, camera angles, and car mounts put you in the middle of the action.
This isn't the first time Ford Motors has gone to war. We know how to do more than push paper. Go ahead, Carroll. Go to war.
Thank you, sir.
There is no doubt in the viewer's mind that you are traveling down the infamous Mulsanne Straight at 200 miles an hour, surrounded by screaming red Ferraris.
Do you think you can beat Ferrari?
I sat in my seat full of tension brought on by the gripping narrative and Oscar-worthy editing and sound. It was as if I was that crazy car kid again, riding in my dream cars that I'd only seen as a speedy blur from the bleachers.
You ready?
I was born ready, Mr. Shelby. Hit it.
This old slot racer loves this movie.
And be sure to get your complete Gilbert Autorama layout. Look at Gilbert toys first. They last.